Welcome to Sleepless Readings. Tonight we'll be reading a tale called Mistake. Do you believe in God? Dr. Victoffen had asked me that just before the final phase was completed. I hadn't answered him, merely stood by as we witnessed greatness, as we created it. The human soul was a hard thing to understand, but man's thirst for knowledge was unquenchable. Years of research, of digging. The team I was working with had done it. Sort of, at least. The soul was a nearly impossible thing to understand, but we had hodgepodged and mucked together a semblance of a science. I didn't understand it at all. I was just the lead electrical engineer. The machine I built was powered on, and a sound like unearthly screaming rang out from the chamber at the center of the contraption. It was a brief moment of bated breath and silence before sobbing could be heard. "By God, we've done it," Victoffen said. Inside the chamber was a black, shifting mass with red eyes. We had done it. We had created a soul. But this felt wrong. If there was a God, it surely wept at the wretched creation that cried in a test tube before us. It screamed, wailing like a newborn as the team celebrated. It started pounding on the glass with a shadowy appendage. I looked in an intrigued disgust as it kept at it, until Dr. Stevenson approached me.
"Will, this wouldn't have been possible without you. Bloody good job, son."
"Thanks, Doctor, but this feels wrong. Look at it. Shouldn't we feel bad? Shouldn't we regret making it?"
"Regret it? Of course not. I do feel bad for it, but now that we have the power to make a soul, we will never have to worry about war or risk. The homunculus can fight for us, can dive for us, can go to space for us. Imagine a world where we don't have to sacrifice humans, where risks can be taken without human suffering."
The way that thing is crying, I bet it feels human.
"This is a moment to be proud of, Will. You'll come around eventually. This is the moment Nobel laureates could only dream of. I'm proud of you, and honored to have worked with a talented man."
Just as I was about to retort, a loud crack rang out in the room, and the fire suppression system immediately went off. The jovial mood in the room fast turned, and the wailing of the homunculus grew 1,000 times louder, and then someone screamed. The realization fast dawned on me. It was out, and it wasn't happy.
"It's breached the chamber! We need to leave!"
I bellowed, sprinting to the door in the thick fog of the fire suppression system. I was the first out into the dim hall of the lab, but now there was another problem. The exits would be blocked off for 3 days due to the automated security. As more screaming came from the chamber room, I knew I had to subdue it. Dr. Stevenson had talked about how this would be my greatest moment. I found it ironic that I had to kill it. I ran to the armory and said to the guard standing by the door,
"There's been a breach. We need heavy weaponry."
The guard on the right said,
"We are aware of the breach, and security has been dispatched. None of us know what the threat is. Can you give me details?"
"We manufactured a soul. It's not happy about that."
"That tells me absolutely nothing."
"It's like a black sludge, and about as mobile as a person."
"Thank you. I'll be telling the guards we deployed. Due to protocol, I can't let you have a gun. You need to wait in the armory until we go back to Code Green."
"Are you serious?"
"I'm just doing my job. The armory is practically a bunker, so rest assured you'll be safe."
I had to swallow my pride and go inside, accompanied by one guard. I waited for the security team to do their job, but what I overheard on his radio wasn't good. Its liquid-like form made it immune to bullets, fire, and explosions. Worse, it kept forcing itself into people's bodies. The process killed the host instantly, but every time it left a body, it got a bit smarter, a bit more dangerous. It was headed towards the bunker now. The radio silence in the past few minutes wasn't looking good. I knew I had to do something, so I decided to make a plan with the guard.
"Nothing in here will harm it, right?"
From what we've heard on the radio, no," the guard said nervously.
"I think I have a plan that will at least slow it down."
"Tell me then."
"Fire doesn't work on it, but if it's a liquid, I bet the cold does."
How are we supposed to get it cold?
Activate the fire suppression system and then blow a refrigeration line. There should be one in the hall.
Alright, what do we need?
A grenade and a gun for each of us. After that, we run for the exit bay doors and activate the emergency lock behind us. Then we just have to wait until the lockdown ends and a team comes for us. The preparation didn't take long, and soon it was lumbering down the hallway, it being a strange, half-liquid and entirely black mass with red eyes that glowed dimly. We threw our grenades at it, and while the homunculus was stunned, it certainly wasn't stopped. It continued its sad shuffle as the fire suppressant system activated. It sighed and groaned like it was trying to speak. Then I shot the coolant tubes, and the coolant started spraying onto the hallway, freezing the water and fire retardant. Then we made a break for it. True to my theory, ice had worked on it. The sludge it inhabited solidified, and I rushed past it unharmed. Then I heard a crack, and the guard screamed. I turned around and saw that it had a grip on the guard.
Help me, please! I don't want to die!
He cried to me. I turned and ran. That was a day ago. Now I'm in the exit bay. The lab exits lockdown tomorrow, and an investigation team will be here at the entrance. Unfortunately, the bay doors leading to the lab proper will also open, and the homunculus, my greatest achievement, has been waiting on the other side. When the doors open, it will be a massacre, and there's no way to warn the investigative team. My only hope is that the lock on the doors will hold, and that I know I need to run as soon as the lockdown ends. I'm just writing this out now from a terminal to pass the time, and warn others if I'm not here to do so. God have mercy if this thing gets out, and God have mercy because I'm letting this mistake run amok and pound on the door, softly asking me with the God's voice,
Why am I?
Thank you for listening. That was Mistake.
Don't forget to like the video, it does help to boost the channel.
Leave a comment for the algorithm.
There's new stories every Sunday.
Not to mention the shorts on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
So subscribe.
And ring the bell.
Thanks, guys. And as always, stay sleepless.